Most people think wealth building is about finding the perfect investment, buying the right stock, or discovering some secret strategy that wealthy people never talk about. In reality, wealth building is much simpler than that. The challenge is not understanding the process. The challenge is following the process long enough for the results to appear. Wealth is usually built through consistent actions, repeated over many years. If you understand a few practical principles and apply them consistently, you can put yourself in a much stronger financial position than most people around you. The first thing every beginner needs to understand is the difference between income and wealth. Income is the money you earn. Wealth is the money you keep and grow. A person earning $50,000 per year who saves and invests regularly can become wealthier than someone earning $150,000 per year who spends everything. Many people focus entirely on increasing income while ignoring their spending habits. The result is that every pay raise disappears into a larger house, more expensive cars, additional subscriptions, and lifestyle upgrades. Wealth building begins when you create a gap between what you earn and what you spend. Imagine two people. Person A earns $60,000 per year and spends $50,000. Person B earns $100,000 per year and spends $98,000. At first glance, Person B appears more successful. However, Person A is saving $10,000 each year, while Person B is saving only $2,000. Over time, Person A will have more money available for investing and wealth creation. This simple example shows why saving rate often matters more than income level during the early stages of wealth building. One practical rule for beginners is to pay yourself first. Instead of saving whatever money remains at the end of the month, save first and spend what remains. Suppose you earn $5,000 per month after taxes. Before paying for entertainment, dining out, or unnecessary purchases, automatically transfer $500 into a savings or investment account. By doing this every month, you save $6,000 in 1 year. Most people fail because they reverse the process. They spend first and attempt to save whatever is left over, which is usually very little. The next step is building an emergency fund. Many people ignore this step because investing feels more exciting. However, an emergency fund protects your wealth building journey. Without it, one unexpected expense can force you into debt. A practical goal for beginners is to save 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses. If your monthly essentials total $3,000, your emergency fund target should be somewhere between $9,000 and $18,000. This money is not designed to make you rich. Its purpose is to prevent financial disasters from destroying your progress. After building an emergency fund, focus on eliminating high-interest debt. Wealth building becomes extremely difficult when large amounts of interest are working against you. Imagine carrying $10,000 of credit card debt at an interest rate above 20%. Even if your investments earn 10% annually, you are still losing money overall because your debt is growing faster than your investments. Paying off high-interest debt often provides a better financial return than investing. Think of it as earning a guaranteed return equal to the interest rate you no longer have to pay. Once debt is under control and your emergency fund is established, investing becomes the engine of wealth creation. Many beginners believe investing requires thousands of dollars. That is no longer true. Consistency matters far more than starting size. Someone investing $200 every month for 20 years may accumulate far more wealth than someone who invests a large amount once and then stops. The power comes from regular contributions combined with compound growth. Compounding is one of the most important concepts in wealth building. Imagine investing $300 every month into diversified investments that generate an average annual return of 8%. During the first few years, growth may seem slow. However, over time, your money begins generating earnings, and those earnings start generating additional earnings. Eventually, the growth from the investments can become larger than your monthly contributions. This is why people who start early often build substantial wealth, even without extraordinary incomes. Let's look at a practical example. Suppose someone invests $400 per month starting at age 25 and continues until age 55. That person contributes $144,000 over those 30 years. Assuming reasonable long-term growth, the investment account could potentially grow to several $100,000 beyond the original contributions. The exact amount will vary based on market performance, but the principle remains the same. Time often matters more than investment size. Another important lesson is diversification. Many beginners place all their money into one stock, one cryptocurrency, or one business idea because they hope for a huge return. Sometimes that works, but it can also destroy years of savings. Diversification means spreading risk across many investments. If one investment performs poorly, the others may help offset the damage. Wealthy investors often focus more on avoiding catastrophic losses than chasing extraordinary gains. A practical wealth-building strategy for beginners could look like this. First, save an emergency fund. Second, eliminate high-interest debt. Third, invest consistently into diversified assets. Fourth, increase contributions every time your income rises. Fifth, stay invested for many years. Notice that none of these steps require predicting the future. They rely on discipline rather than forecasting. One of the biggest mistakes people make is waiting for the perfect time to invest. They wait for the market to fall, for interest rates to change, or for economic uncertainty to disappear. Unfortunately, perfect conditions rarely arrive. Successful wealth builders understand that time in the market generally matters more than timing the market. By investing regularly, regardless of headlines, they avoid emotional decision-making and maintain consistency. Income growth is another major part of wealth building. While controlling expenses is important, there is a limit to how much you can cut. There is often much greater potential in increasing earnings. This could mean learning valuable skills, negotiating a higher salary, starting a side business, freelancing, consulting, or building digital products. Imagine increasing your annual income from $60,000 to $80,000 while maintaining similar living expenses. That extra income creates significantly more room for saving and investing. Let's use a practical example. Suppose you receive a raise worth $600 per month after taxes. Many people immediately upgrade their lifestyle and spend the entire increase. A wealth-building mindset might allocate $300 toward investments and allow the remaining $300 for lifestyle improvements. This approach lets you enjoy progress while still strengthening your financial future. Another powerful wealth-building habit is avoiding lifestyle inflation. Lifestyle inflation occurs when spending rises every time income rises. Many people earn more money than ever before, yet feel financially stressed because their expenses have increased at the same pace. Wealth builders consciously keep some distance between income growth and spending growth. This gap becomes the fuel that powers investments and future opportunities. Home ownership can play a role in wealth building, but it should not automatically be viewed as an investment. A home can provide stability and potentially appreciate in value over time. However, it also comes with taxes, maintenance costs, insurance, and repairs. Before purchasing a home, make sure the monthly costs fit comfortably within your budget. A house that strains your finances can slow wealth creation rather than accelerate it. Building multiple income streams is another strategy many financially successful people use. This does not mean juggling 10 different businesses. It simply means reducing dependence on a single source of income. For example, someone may have a full-time job, investment income, a small online business, and occasional freelance work. If one source declines, the others continue supporting financial progress. Many beginners underestimate the importance of protecting wealth. Insurance may not sound exciting, but it can prevent devastating financial losses. Health insurance, disability insurance, property insurance, and other forms of protection can help preserve years of hard work. Wealth building is not only about growth, it is also about defending what you have already built. Taxes also matter more than most beginners realize. Imagine two investors earning identical returns. If one investor uses tax-efficient strategies while the other ignores taxes completely, the first investor may accumulate significantly more wealth over time. Understanding basic tax rules in your country and making informed decisions can have a major long-term impact. One practical technique that works well is increasing investment contributions automatically every year. Suppose you start by investing $300 per month. The following year, increase that amount to $350. The year after that, raise it again. Small increases often feel manageable, yet they can create dramatic results over decades. The key is making progress without creating financial stress. Patience is perhaps the most underrated wealth-building skill. Social media often promotes stories about overnight success, rapid profits, and instant financial freedom. In reality, most genuine wealth is built gradually. Many millionaires spent years investing, saving, improving their careers, and making disciplined decisions. Their success often appears sudden only because people notice the result rather than the decades of preparation. Another useful principle is focusing on net worth rather than income alone. Net worth represents what you own minus what you owe. Someone earning a large salary but carrying massive debt may have a lower net worth than someone earning less while steadily building assets. Tracking net worth once or twice per year can provide a clearer picture of financial progress than income alone. Wealth building also requires emotional discipline. Markets will rise and fall. Economies will experience uncertainty. News headlines will create fear. Many people sell investments during difficult periods and buy again after prices recover. This behavior often produces poor results. Long-term investors understand that temporary declines are a normal part of the journey. They focus on years and decades rather than weeks and months. For beginners, a simple wealth-building framework can be surprisingly effective. Spend less than you earn, build an emergency fund, eliminate expensive debt, invest consistently, increase income, avoid lifestyle inflation, protect yourself with insurance, stay patient. Repeat these steps year after year. While none of these actions sound exciting, together they create a powerful system for financial growth. Imagine two people beginning today. One spends years searching for shortcuts, chasing trends, and constantly changing strategies. The other follows a simple plan, saves regularly, invests consistently, improves skills, and remains patient. 10 or 20 years later, the second person often achieves far better results. Wealth building rarely rewards complexity. More often, it rewards consistency. The most important takeaway is that wealth building is accessible to ordinary people. You do not need a six-figure income, advanced financial degrees, or perfect timing. You need a practical plan and the discipline to follow it. Every dollar saved, every investment contribution, every debt payment, and every smart financial decision pushes you one step closer to financial freedom. The earlier you start and the longer you stay committed, the greater the potential rewards. Wealth is usually not built through one giant decision. It is built through thousands of small decisions made correctly over many years. If you found this video helpful, then like, share, and subscribe this channel to get future videos. Thank you for watching this video.